news at 2. 4 members of a British band, Viola Beach, and their manager have been killed in a car crash in Sweden. Their car plunged 80 feet off a road bridge into a canal in Stockholm after they had been performing at a music festival there. Hello, good afternoon and welcome to BBC News. 4 members of a British band and their manager have been killed in a car crash in Sweden. The police say the car plunged into a canal in Stockholm yesterday. The band, known as Viola Beach, were from Warrington and released their debut single last year. Olivia Richwald reports.
The car that the band Viola Beach and their manager were travelling in was pulled from a canal near Stockholm in the early hours of yesterday morning. It had plunged down more than 80 feet into the water after crashing through a barrier on the motorway bridge. The Maritime Authority in Sweden says warning signs were in place and the barriers were down. An investigation is underway.
The car passed through one of the barriers and then plunged into the canal. The bridge had been raised at the time. It is very tragic, of course. A police investigation is underway. We will look into what happened and hope to find out if something fouled technically as well, of course. But it's too early to say.
The members of the Warrington-based band were Chris Leonard, River Reeves, Thomas Lowe and Jack Dakin. Their manager was Craig Tarry. The band released their debut single Swings and Waterslides last year and had featured on BBC Introducing, which showcases up-and-coming bands. Tributes to Viola Beach have been pouring in today, especially here in Warrington, where the band grew up and where they met. 3 of them had worked at the Lounge here in Warrington, and this is where they first started playing live, and it's where a poster of the boys is still proudly displayed. Last year, Viola Beach had played at the Leeds and Reading festivals and were due to perform in Guildford this weekend. They were due back here in Warrington in March, where tickets had already sold out 2 months in advance. Olivia Richwald, BBC News, Warrington.
Joining me on the line is Huw Stephens, the Radio 1 presenter who has championed Viola Beach's music over the past year. Huw, thanks for joining us. It's an incredibly sad story, this.
It's incredibly sad. When we heard the news, it was shock. And as you say, you know, we've been playing their music on the BBC, on Radio 1, via all the, and on Six Music as well for the past year or so. They were an incredibly lovely bunch of boys who were doing incredibly well as well. They had everything in front of them. As you say, a couple of singles old, and I believe they'd played, they were on their way back from their first gig in Sweden, the first gig outside of the UK. They really had everything going for them, and all the tributes pouring in, today on the social media and everything is from their fans. They picked up an amazing amount of fans in a short amount of time. They were a really promising band, as their sessions and singles to date had proved. So it makes it all the more sad, of course, and obviously our thoughts at BBC Introducing and across all the BBC Music channels are with their family and friends. And because they were such a nice bunch of boys as well, they'd made a lot of fans who felt that they knew them. They'd been to their gigs, and as you heard in the report, their tickets had already sold out for their hometown show. So they were on tour with bigger bands like Blossoms and the Cortinas as well. So there was a lot of love for them.
When you see a young band like this, and as you say, they came through the BBC introduction programme or introducing programme, what is it that makes one band special, and what did you see in this band?
You know what, the only thing that you look for is passion and heart and conviction in any kind of music, I think. And Viola Beach were a young band who loved what they were doing. They were a gang of mates who decided to form this band, sang from the heart. They sang about things that people could connect with and understand. And their new single had just come out on Communion Records, Boys That Sing, and it sounds so good. We've been playing it so much over the last couple of weeks, and they were due to come out to Austin, Texas with us for South by Southwest as well in March. And they were one of the 6 UK acts picked to play out there. Obviously that won't happen now, and there was so much in front of them. All the tickets, all the tours that they had lined up over the next couple of months were sold to people who believed in the band, who thought they were brilliant, and obviously that makes it even more poignant for everybody. So I think what they had was a spark. They had great musicianship. They had some really great lyrics as well. I've been humming their recent single to myself over the last couple of weeks. You know, it really gets under your skin, and so they had a lot to look forward to, you know.
Huw, thanks very much indeed. Huw Stephens there from Radio 1. Saudi Arabia has confirmed it sent warplanes to a base in Turkey to intensify